I recently launched a new book on July 7th, and I want to show you what it's done in a month. My name is Jenny Hansen-Lane. I've been publishing for 3 years on Amazon. I've crossed 6 figures, and I love sharing all the things that I've learned about it, especially to help you overcome any pitfalls or mistakes, because heaven knows I've made mistakes. So let's dive in. I recently had a book cross 1K in 30 days, and I want to show you how this actually compound my KDP account. Right now it is August 18th. We're more than half of the way through the month. I've crossed $2,500.23. And my price per, someone asked me a question about my books and the price per royalty. I price everything over $4 for royalties. I do have a couple lost leaders, which means if they come into the pen name and they buy a book, sometimes I barely make any money on it, but I'm banking on what else I have under my pen name that allows me to bring in that money, okay? So for this 1K in 30 days, the first thing that I did was that I used the same pen name that was already making me money, okay? So once you have a pen name that is private, maybe you're using your name, you really have a customer base built in once that book starts selling. And so think of these pen names as little shops or little stores where people come back for more. I have a book that hit, it was in the top 10 for best selling for its category, and so I've continued to turn on ads for that, and I am getting data from my ads to build more books, okay? So some of the things that I did to build out this new book under the pen name is I'm looking at the reviews, especially on my current books. If there's something that a customer brings up that I hadn't thought of before, I'm going to incorporate those reviews into my next book, okay? The second thing that I'm going to do, or the second thing that I actually did to make 1K in 30 days for a new book, is that I am using the data from my book ads, okay? And so the reason why I'm doing this is because Amazon gives us what's called search terms. This is where we can actually see what the Prime user, Amazon has 90 million monthly buyers. And so in this data, we can actually see what customers are typing in before they click on a book, okay? So the cool thing about this is it's a pretty active thing to have. When we think about search terms, they're not words from BookBeam or Publisher Rocket or any third-party tracking tool. They're from actual customers, and they are related to your pen name. So this is why I find this so much fun, is because it is user data. It is market research, right? And data is queen. If we can follow where the data goes, we will be more successful. We'll be able to create a better product, and we'll be able to make more money because we are serving that customer at that level, okay? So this is really important when you have a book that sells. There's so many books that are like #1 best-selling, and I go and click on their pen name, and there's nothing else around it. And I'm like, that is literally real estate, wasted real estate. It's like having a shop and you paid for the entire shop, and the book and the real estate agent's like, you can sell your book here for one price. And then you have all this square footage and you don't do anything about it. I think of the same way with my pen name, okay? So when I have a book that sells, I'm leaning into that because a lot of times I can repurpose really similar content because I know what the customer wants, okay? So I'm using reviews, good and bad, to make my book better. There is a marketer that talks about learning and iterating from those things, and we need to do the same thing for our books to make more money, okay? So using the reviews, and then I'm using data from the book ads. So you might be thinking like, Jenny, what does come up in the search terms? When you're publishing low content books and medium content books, low content books, we're just going to call this LC. Data that has made me more money is people are looking for a certain color of a notebook or journal. They are looking for a style. Okay, if I don't have a color or style, these are actually two different ones, right? Then I go out and I make my book based off of that, okay? Let's talk about the data that we're going to get from medium content. Medium content is going to be probably more long tail keywords. And I think about this a lot with joke books right now. We had a riddle book in our house. It makes about $1,000 a day from the self-publisher. And when you go and look for riddle books or joke books on Amazon, there's a lot of different types of topics, right? And so when we're looking at long tail keyword, an example of that is like maybe it's a joke book, right? But the long tail is like science jokes, right? Long tail keywords also allow us to niche down a little bit more. And I think that's a really important part of making money online. As you've always heard me say, riches are in the niches. And so think about if you are experiencing 0 sales, are you niche down enough, right? If you are not seeing organic sales, are you tapped into areas where there is less competition, right? And so if you're not doing these simple things when you're building a book, then it can be very discouraging. And so we've got to put our marketing hat on and say, you know what? I already know how to create a cool book. Let's actually make it sell. So if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're thinking, I haven't made any sales yet, but you've created a book. That is like a bigger deal than the book selling. Like the book selling is the next part, but I don't ever want to discount the work that you actually put in to get to this point, okay? So I love you for showing up and keep showing up for yourself. As I always say, if you don't quit, you can't lose, okay? So these are really important steps because I am tapping into exactly what the customer wants, and that is how I was able to generate over 1K in a 30-day span for this book, and it is now my second bestseller, and I'm kind of shocked about it because my top bestseller is 2 years old, and here's the really interesting part that I haven't shared with anybody. I haven't even told my husband this, okay? It's our secret. A lot of times customers, they want more of what they already have. Okay. If you have a kid and they have a favorite color, you have a kid and they have a favorite animal, dinosaur, like you don't just get them one thing, right? You're like, oh, I found this dinosaur pencil box. Oh, I found this dinosaur eraser. Like you go all out. Okay. So I want you to think about that with this section here is that when you're able to give them more of what they already have, it's what we call that in marketing is you're pre-validated. It's pre-validated. You already know. You already know what sells. Look at those sloppy dollar signs. Why would you go for more? Why wouldn't you go after more if you know what sells, okay? So these are the big things that I did to achieve this. They're just 3 simple things, okay? So I want you to think about that. The number 1 thing is I'm looking at reviews of the current books that are doing well. This tip, this little training also applies to your competitions book. You don't have to if you're just getting started and you don't have a book, you can use a best-selling book of someone else's, okay? Looking at the reviews, getting data from your books by using ads, and then breaking down those search terms to develop the next book, right? If it's low content, what color is it going to be? What style it's going to be? If it's medium content, what are people typing in that they want more of, okay? And then that's what you're going to do. You're going to publish it under that same pen name, right? So when someone comes into your shop, now you have 2 books. Guys, spoiler alert, this is all I've been doing for 3 years. I've been creating my own bookshop. You've got mail, right? Like FOX. I've just been creating books under pen names. Okay? So I hope this helps. Drop any questions that you have. And here is another video that YouTube is suggesting to you. I would love to continue to help you. So I have a free training coming up. I'll drop a link right below in the description so you can join us and learn and deepen your journey for self-publishing. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.